Hello, Sanctuary Columbus Church. Glad to be joining you here. I just want to share a few things. My name is Aaron Starr. For those of you who do not know me, I serve as the vice chair on Sanctuary's Elder Board. I'm also the executive director of RTNI, Reaching the Nations International, one of our partner ministries in the Milo, Grogan, and Trevitt communities. So I have some announcements for you. The first significant is that Brian Malikowski has resigned from the Elder Board due to personal reasons regarding a job transition, and just did not have the time to make the commitment. That said, we are looking to fill his role on the Elder Board. We're also looking to continue to grow the Elder Board for the future expanding needs of the congregation. And so we've jumped into a board assessment and looked at the desired state of where we would like to go. And we've identified two key areas that we would need to fill on our elder board. The first is in the area of congregational care, and the second is in the area of legal. We would encourage you and ask you to be praying with us in this time as we listen to the voice of God, as we pray for God to bring those right people in to the elder board. We will be sending out an email that will include additional information, specifically how to make a recommendation if you believe that God is placing someone on your heart in the area of congregational care or legal that would fit our needs and our growth goals as a church. Thank you, and God bless.
All right. Hello, leaders of Sanctuary. For those who don't know me, I am Juanisha Schaefer, and I am the board chair. During this season of change, trials, and challenges, God continues to bless, protect, and provide for Sanctuary Columbus Church and its covenant partners. I am thankful to be a part of a body that supports and loves one another. Galatians Chapter 6, verse 9 through 10. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong to the family of believers. Megan Braffer, one of our beloved leaders, recently had to step away from her role due to health reasons. Megan has expressed her appreciation for the support and care that is being provided to her and her family. With Megan stepping out of this role, we were blessed not to experience a vacancy. We are grateful and abundantly appreciative that Kristen High accepted the role of interim director. God proves He is a God of provision. He is the supplier of our needs. Let's continue to pray for Megan's healing and for the comfort and uplifting of both her and her family. Let's continue to pray for Kristen. I pray that God blesses her for the willingness to step up and serve in this capacity. And I ask that we continue to ask God to cover our children and guide us towards godly parenting. I'm not sure about you all, but during this pandemic time, I need God's miraculous intervention as a parent. At Sanctuary, we continue to see our congregation expand. More people, more faces. And as a leader, we have been challenged to serve in new and creative ways. I am amazed at how masterfully Pastor Rich and his team delivers the sermon, worship, newsletters, and other communications weekly. I know it takes a great deal of commitment and time to do so. So let me pause to say thank you. I am extremely grateful. As I mentioned, we continue to expand. And as we grow, the board continues to react. As Aaron has shared, we are seeking to expand the board. I strongly encourage everyone to make a commitment by assisting us in identifying and connecting to the helping us to connect to the right individuals who can join Pastor Rich, Micah, Jason, Aaron, and myself. As we enter into our last term of 3 years, it is vital that we identify, support, and prepare our next leaders to continue to elevate our response and action to God's calling for our church. Another reaction to our growth has been by increasing staff and roles to meet our church needs. We have successfully hired Caitlin, who serves as our administrator, and we have expanded the role of Malcolm. Now, we are in the process of searching for an associate pastor. Jason Chang, Pam Lang, and Aaron Epting are forming a committee that will lead and guide this effort. If you are asking yourself, why do we need an associate pastor? I believe that the answer is simple and and one that I have reiterated. Growth. Not just due to numbers, but our commitment to spiritual growth, discipleship, and how we serve and connect to one another. The associate pastor will be responsible for shepherding, care, discipleship for staff, and congregants. The individual will assume a complementary leadership role to the senior pastor, providing oversight to various ministries and empowering staff and volunteers. The role will work closely with ministry teams to develop strong discipleship strategy, increase engagement from congregants and visitors in living out the mission of the church, as well as provide pastoral support for congregational care. The board is excited to add this as a supportive role for Pastor Rich, as this will allow him to focus intently and serve more extensively in his gifts and talents. You will continue to hear more details from Jason and the hiring committee as the search advances. Reflecting on where Sanctuary started to where it is now and where it will be in just a few more months is extraordinary. But I remind myself that my reaction should not be a surprise, because God is all powerful and of complete authority. And when we walk in his will, he makes all things happen accordingly. Thank you for your time, and God bless.
Hello, Sanctuary family. My name is Micah Witt. I serve on the Elder Board and also serve as the church treasurer. I'm blessed to be able to bring you news of how God has provided for our church most profoundly over the last 12 months. Feel free to email me at treasure@sanctuarycolumbus.com with any questions about what you're going to hear or see today. I'm really excited about how God is working in you to be a blessing to our church and beyond. I have a few areas to cover in this presentation: our historical and recent giving trends, the status of our savings and Faithfully Ready Fund, and our long-term financial goals. For at least the previous 3 years, our monthly giving has averaged around $20,000. It fluctuates up and down, but on average it's been very close to that level for years. At the beginning of 2019, we found ourselves still wandering in the wilderness of Vista. Several opportunities to purchase a property and find a permanent space had not panned out. We were out of ideas and we were tired. Then for Lent 2019, we launched the Faithfully Ready Fund. This fund was created as a special savings account that was geared toward purchasing or rehabbing a permanent facility for our church. We didn't have a place in mind for these funds, but we made plans to launch the effort in faith because we were ready. Initially, we raised about $35,000 for Faithfully Ready through our matching funds campaign during the 2019 Lenten season. Then later in September 2019, God directed a partnership with the Free Methodist Church of Ohio to give us a free 5-year lease of our current facility. This was above and beyond what we could have imagined. God was faithful while we were getting faithfully ready. To the money raised, we invested additional funds from our own long-term savings in the fall of 2019 to refresh the Free Methodist building, and we got to work. Nearly $117,000 was spent on the building refresh, which went toward professional services, furnishings, painting, flooring, and all the special details we would get to enjoy for a couple months at least. Today I'm happy to report that by September 2020, 1 year after the partnership began, by God's grace, we have replaced all of the $90,000 taken from our long-term savings. How did that happen? Well, the first couple months of 2020, our attendance exploded and the capacity of our new space was quickly exceeded. You may recall the parking problems, the seating problems, the glory days of meeting together. Was that just earlier this year? We began making preparations to move to holding 2 weekend services to capitalize on our momentum. Then COVID-19 happened, and we moved to online services instead. It was recommended to us that we pursue application of a federal loan through the CARES Act. We researched and deliberated, but in the end chose not to pursue the loan program. We assumed our giving would go down as the lockdown started. However, we had not laid off staff, and we didn't plan on doing so. We could not yet prove financial hardships related to income versus expenses. Shortly after that, we realized that our giving did not drop off. It stayed steady at our new higher levels and even increased. Due to the consistent giving of members, regular attenders, and momentum from new attenders who have started giving in 2020, Sanctuary is in a financially stable condition now. 2020 average monthly giving has been about $30,000, which is about $10,000 higher than any average we've ever had, and much higher than we had counted on for this year. Nobody thought this was going to happen the first year of a new facility, with or without a global pandemic. Combine that with the fact that some of our expenses have been lower while we've been meeting online and a surplus results. I'm also very excited to report that 38 new online givers have faithfully joined in partnership with us so far in 2020. 23 of those since March 15th when online services began. Some of those are people who converted their in-person gifts to online, but most are new to the church. Let that fact soak in. Something is going well if our church is drawing in new people and new givers while meeting almost exclusively online. Our long-term savings currently has a balance of almost $230,000, and the Faithfully Ready Fund has a balance of over $15,000. We also made a push earlier this year to give to the Benevolence Fund, which still has a balance of over $18,000. You can continue giving to the Faithfully Ready Fund by going to the Give tab on our website and selecting the drop-down for Faithfully Ready. Now you might ask, why are we still collecting funds for Faithfully Ready after we've moved into the building? I'm glad you asked. First of all, we don't own the building. We are blessed to be using it for free. Our responsibility is to maintain the condition of the property and pay utilities. We will have to renegotiate our lease contract with the Free Methodist Church in 2025. If we're given the opportunity to purchase the property, then we want to be in a position to do so and make an offer. In order to be in a position to finance the purchase of the building, previously estimated around $2 million, we have set a goal of $500,000 to be available by the beginning of 2025. This goal can be met by saving about $7,500 a month over the next 3 years, or extra funds can be designated to the Faithfully Ready Fund. We'll continue to update the church on this process in the future. Because of your faithful giving, Sanctuary never had to apply for a government loan during COVID, and we didn't need to cut any staff. In fact, we were able to hire Caitlin Steinbrecher as our church administrator, who also oversees the building and operations. Sanctuary has grown by more than 100 people in 2020. Along with that growth and looking toward the future, we anticipate adding a full-time associate pastor in 2021. We had planned to make this hire during 2020, but had to delay the process. We are again including a full-time associate pastor in our budget for 2021, and we now anticipate that our current giving levels will cover those related costs. Thank you so much for your continued dedication and leadership in Sanctuary Columbus. Church looks a little different now than it ever has before, and unfortunately it looks like we'll be continuing like this for at least a little longer. But remember, the church is our people. It is not our building. Wherever and however we gather together, we do so in His name and for His purposes. Thank you for continuing to invest in our mission so that we can not just survive but thrive during this challenging time and get through it together intact as one body of believers. Thank you.